Today we'll be smoking out these eyes with a little bit of gold and glitter. It's gonna be lit like this highlight. So stay tuned and keep watching. Today we're gonna be using the Benefit Brow, and why I like it is because this is actually a waterproof pomade, and all you need is very little. So what I like to do is I take my Morphe M165, take off the excess product and put it right back in the pot, because you know we do not want to be wasting product. And then what I like to do is start from right here and then kind of just follow your eyebrow shape and bring it to the side. And then what I like to do is taking the end of a spoolie or end of a brow product and kind of combing it through, because this is going to actually make it a little bit softer for you. So we're going to be doing the same thing on the opposite brow. That's okay if you ever do too much, because we're going to be taking concealer and we're just going to wipe away that excess product. Flick of the wrist or going upwards, the key to nice eyebrows. So now what I like to do is take my MAC Pro Longwear, taking a little bit of that product and cleaning up right under the eyebrow. And this is how we get that taper fade eyebrow. So now we're gonna go ahead, after we blended that concealer all over, we're gonna use that as a base. And take a little bit of the Too Faced 24-Hour Insurance, and this is gonna be our primer. So what I like to do is taking my finger, lightly dabbing that insurance base all along the eyelid. Today we're going to be using the Anastasia eyeshadow palette, the Modern Renaissance? There we go. Anyways, as you can see, I already hit pan on Red Ochre. This is every warm tone girl's dream. The only palette you really necessarily need on a day-to-day basis, okay? So what we're gonna be using first is Raw Sienna, and what we're gonna do is place this right in the crease. And you're just gonna be taking it in windshield wiping motions. So this color is gonna just help blend once we get a little bit smokier. And then now we're gonna be taking Burnt Orange, and we're gonna do the same technique right in that crease area. And now we're gonna be taking Real Gar. We're taking all those warm tones, honey, all those warm tones, and we're gonna tap off any excess product and place it right in that crease once again. And now we're gonna be taking my Sigma Tapered Blending E40 brush, Life, and we are not gonna put any product on this, and we're gonna buff it into the eyebrow. And this is gonna give us that blown out smoky look. We're gonna be going back in with the Morphe M511 brush, and we're gonna be taking Venetian Red and going back in that crease. And then going back in with that E40 brush with no extra product. So just blending upwards. Now we're gonna go back in with Red Ochre, going back in that crease, and we're just gonna pack it and pack it and pack it. And then going back in with no extra product and doing the same thing, blending. So now I'm gonna be taking next is the Kat Von D Shade and Light palette. You have your warm tones, your neutrals, and then you can smoke it out. And then what we're gonna be using today is we're gonna be taking our MAC 217 brush, and it's gonna give you a little more precision, and we're gonna lightly take that dark chocolate brown and we're gonna place that right in the crease. And the same thing on the opposite eye. Now taking that brush with no extra product, we're gonna buff it in circular motions. So now after we have the basic crease, everything blended, we're gonna be taking some glitter glue by Too Faced. This is my absolute favorite. So we're gonna be taking a flat brush just like this. We're gonna be using very little and dabbing it onto the eye. And this is going to give us that cut crease look when we apply the glitter. We're gonna be taking a MAC glitter, and this is gonna be Reflex in Bronze. So now we're gonna be taking a Morphe M52 brush, and we're gonna use very little product, and we're gonna grab the glitter and just pack it on that eyelid. Nice and tight. Whoa. So moving on to the brow highlight, which is my favorite part, we're gonna be taking Tempera and placing it right underneath that brow. And yes, it looks a little white, but I like mine to be a little vibrant. And taking our flat E40 brush and blending that highlight with those warm tones and doing the same thing on the opposite side. Now, after we have all our eyeshadow placed, we're gonna be taking onto the wing eyeliner. So we're gonna be using my favorite Makeup Forever ink liner. This is not gonna run on you. Perfect to give you that dramatic, bold cat eye, and it dries matte. Taking your concealer brush with a little bit of concealer. So I'll be taking the MAC Pro Longwear and I'm just going to cut it. It looks a little crazy at the moment, but we want wings to kill. We're gonna be taking the same colors that we were using in the crease and we're gonna be placing it right under the bottom because we want to create a little bit of balance and it doesn't look like dramatic on the top and then no party on the bottom. So I'm gonna be using the Givenchy Petit Couture waterproof pencil. The difference black liner makes. So now we're gonna be going back in with the E30 brush and I'm gonna be taking the chocolate color and we're gonna use this to kind of smudge it out a little bit. So now we're gonna be taking my favorite mascara. This is the Makeup Forever Excessive Lash. It's just launched. The reason why I like it is because it gives you so much volume with such a little brush. And what I'm gonna be doing first is adding one coat on my lashes and this is just gonna help us blend when we apply the fake ones. So I'm going to be starting off with the Makeup Forever Smoothing Primer, and the reason why I'm going to be using this is because I do have a bit of scarring around this area and visible pores, as you can see. And what this does is it's going to give you just an even flawless finish. So you're going to be taking just a very little, and I want to start right in this area because that's where most of my pores are visible. We're going to blend downwards. I'm going to be taking the Marc Jacobs Getting Warmer, and this will literally get rid of any darkness, and with this peachy tint it's going to help eliminate that. So I like to apply it literally all over my cheeks. So now we're going to be taking my absolute favorite foundation brush. It looks like a paintbrush, it works like a paintbrush, but it's not a paintbrush. What I'm going to be doing is starting off from right here and blending that product outwards. And as you can tell, you do get that full coverage right away. And why I like it so much is it doesn't feel as cakey as other foundations. You could wear it in the summertime and feel so fine without that cake face. Now for me, my circles are a little bit bad, and I'm going to be taking a little bit of my MAC Pro Longwear NW20, placing that right underneath the eye. And the reason why I'm not taking it all over is because I'm going to use this as a base, and we're going to be using my favorite Makeup Forever Invisible Cover HD in Y23. And the reason why I love this is because it gives you that bam highlight. Whew, it's life. Placing a little dot on the back of my hand, as is. Taking my ring finger and then patting it right on the area we're going to be highlighting. So I'm going to be taking like a V formation. And then now I'm going to be taking my Makeup Forever 144 wavy brush and just kind of patting it into the skin and just buffing it. And this is a good tip to clean up any darkness under the eye and if that eyeshadow fall out. So now after we place the concealer under the eye, what I'm going to be doing today is just highlighting. We're going to skip the contour part. I'm going to be taking my favorite powder by Givenchy, amazing. This is going to give us a radiance boost, as so it says on the bottom. But what we're going to be doing is taking a flat sponge like these you could buy at Walmart, Target for $1. And we're going to be baking. So it holds all the product onto the silicone sponge. And we're going to be placing it right underneath the eye and just packing it until your highlight is lit. You can use any type of powders like Laura Mercier translucent powder. I just love how Givenchy's satin finish, as they would say. So as that bakes, and you look like a crazy person, We're gonna be going ahead and setting our makeup before applying any other products on top of that, because this is gonna help your foundation stay on longer and last through a date, school, whatever the case might be. And we're gonna be taking the Vayline Luxury Powder, and I'm gonna be using this for the rest of my face. So taking just a little bit of product and patting it into the skin rather than sweeping or moving, because this will help your foundation stay intact and not separate. So you want to place this all around the area that's not highlighted, along that shiny nose, along your forehead, your eyebrows, and your neck. So after we let it set for about 5 minutes while you're doing your hair, talking to your boo thing, we're gonna take off with our Pro Airbrush, any type of powder brush, and removing that excess product. As you can see, most of it did get absorbed into our skin. That's what we want to see. And this is gonna help your concealer stay on longer, your highlight poppin', and voila, we are baked and ready to move on to bronzer. And what I'm going to be using today is the Hoola bronzer by Benefit. Yes. So I'm going to be taking the Real Techniques, just a tapered powder brush, and I'm going to be applying this right at the cheek and just kind of buffing it in circular motions. And this bronzer is going to give you a matte finish. And I'm just going to buff it all over, not being neat about it whatsoever. So after bronzer, I'm going to be taking the Sephora Collection blush. They're very pigmented. And then we're going to be using number Heated, number 16. And I'm going to be taking the Sephora Collection in number 54 and just applying very little. I'm going to go ahead and smile and apply at the apple of the cheeks. And then bring it on back. I'm going to be doing the same thing on the other side. And then I'm going to be taking that powder brush that we used for the bronzer and buffing that all together. So now once that's completed, I'm gonna go on to my favorite part, this highlight. So today we're gonna be using 2 different highlights. So first we're gonna be using my favorite, Gilded Honey by Laura Geller. So now we're gonna be using the Morphe M310 fan brush, and we're gonna be placing this right here. And I'm going to be using this as my base highlight because I do tend to pack on quite a bit of highlight. And then taking one of my Real Techniques tapered contour brush, we're going to be taking number 2 Stardust palette by Inglot. And this is going to be one of the most gorgeous highlights ever. I'm going to be placing that on top of the Laura Geller. And this is going to be more of a glittery rather than a shimmer finish. And you don't necessarily need that much highlight, but for me, we're gonna go that much. And I'm gonna be going back in with the Real Techniques powder brush and just kind of blend it all to one look. We are gonna be taking the Ready Set Brow by Benefit. It's just gonna be a clear gel, and we're gonna go ahead and place it going up onto the side. And this is going to help your natural hairs become more prominent, and it's going to keep them all in place. It will be shiny at first, but it does dry into a matte finish. Bam! So once we're done setting the brows, we're going to go ahead and take one of my favorite lip stains in Chili Chili by ColourPop. This is going to give you a matte finish. And then I like to go over it about another layer. And another tip as well, if you wanted to overdraw your lips, by starting off going this way, it would kind of give you more of a plumpier finish. And then lastly, just take a setting spray and just spritz yourself in it. Just douse. And then that is the completed look. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what you thought about the look. If it was a yes, hunty, or a no. Let me know what you guys want to see next on my Snapchat or Instagram listed down below. And thanks for watching.